We're invincible. Trust in me. We're invincible. Don't you see? We're invincible.
Hi and welcome back to episode 5 of the Better Than Boer challenge. Last time out we had a thumping, resounding 2-1 win against Liverpool. Second place Liverpool, which just heaved us out of the relegation places. We're here today, we're away at Stoke. Never an easy game. It is a Saturday, not a wet Tuesday, but it is in December, just before Christmas. So not going to be the nicest ground to go to, not the nicest place to go to. I'm just noticing recent form. Stoke have won, 4 out of the last 5 games, drawing 1, and are excellent. We've drawn 1, won 3 and lost 1, and we're inconsistent. Okay, that probably is semi inconsistent, air quotations, but it's pretty good form. I wouldn't say it's a negative to win 3 out of 5 with a draw. 10 points out of 12. 1, 3, 6, 9, 15. Sorry, 5 out of 15. Maths on point there. So yeah, we're going to this game today. We did have a couple of injuries at the last game. Soiree, I think, pulled up, and I think Rossi pulled up. They both recovered. We've had a week between games, so everyone's back fully fit. No need to rest anyone during the week. We had a full week to rest and train. I did see some news about Tottenham hiring a manager, and still Scott Parker, but there's talk of it being Paulo Sousa. I don't know where he's coming from. I know he was Watford manager a year or maybe 2 years back. I'm not too sure. Was he Swansea as well, perhaps, at some point? So he's in for the Tottenham job. Apparently he's the favourite to get it. I'm not sure if Everton... Did we check Everton last time out? I don't think we did. Have they replaced their bottom... Walter Mazzari is their manager. Now I know he was Watford. He was Watford last year, wasn't he? So, not doing too well. I'm not sure how long he's been doing that job for, but he's not doing too well at the moment. And who have they got this weekend? Arsenal away. Everton could be about to succumb to relegation. I mean, it's only Christmas. This is a big period for every team, and especially those down the bottom. I don't think they're adrift. Let's have a look. I don't think anyone's adrift. Which makes it, well, I mean, they're getting there. They're 4 points away, and you'd expect them not to get anything out of the Arsenal game. Arsenal aren't great, but they're still Arsenal. So I mean, that could see sort of that 4 points become 6 or 7 quite easily, and then you're talking a big old struggle to get back. But I'm not concerned about that. We're concerned about Crystal Palace. So we're going to go with today. We've got Stoke away, and we're going to try and squeeze the Huddersfield game in, but I'm not too sure. We'll have to see how it goes and time-wise. Rosicki is wanted. We keep getting bids for him. Some of them matching the value, some of them not so much, but they all want pretty much 50% of his wages paid, I think it is. How much is he on? He's on 59, yeah. I think the best I've seen was 25, but I'm not paying 25k a week for the next 2 years. I'd rather pay 60 and have use of him. Speroni has also been subject to a bid from a team in the Premier League in Argentina. I have managed in Argentina, but I'm not familiar of Chacarita Juniors. I don't remember coming across them. Not a lot of money, but he's 38 now. Yeah, 38. He's on 25k a week. Get that money off the wage bill. He's not going to play. If he goes, I've got that young American goalkeeper I brought in as a backup. I think, is there another one in the first team? No, I can bring him up in the reserves. We're okay. As long as Hennessy isn't the greatest, but he's doing all right at the moment. If we can keep him fit, to make sure everyone else is good to go. I think Van Arnholt, Puncheons looks like he's struggling a little bit, but to be honest, I'm not sure I really need him anyway. So we're going to jump into that game away at Stoke, see how we get on. So they're lining up. They're lining up with 3 at the back as well. Slightly more attacking variant, I'd say, of what we're doing. They've got the 2 wingers, 1 striker, 2 wingers. Where they've got one of the wingers, we've got a CDM. So hopefully we can just keep Hesse quiet. He's obviously a quick player. Shaqiri as well. We just need to keep those sort of players quiet in this game, and I think we'll we'll do all right. It's a passionate underdogs. I think. I mean that had seemed to be working against the Man United and Man Cities of this world, but it doesn't seem to be working against Stoke. There we go. It's a better team talk than last time out, which was not to say. So Butland's on a good run. So I hope so. Otherwise, we won't end well. Yeah, let's go with that one. And it's not the best weather for football. That, if anything, ever summed up a comment about playing at Stoke away, that would pretty much sum it up. So I'm going to say we're not too bothered about the weather. We don't need to get that as a distraction. So we're into the game. Stoke kick off and they're attacking our wing down with Choupo-Moting. Tremolinas, they got him on a free. I forgot he was on a free until it was too late. He'd already gone. Whether he'd come to Crystal Palace or not, I don't know. When I didn't get him, I wasn't too fussed because I thought I had two pretty good left backs in Soiree and Van Aanholt. It seems I've got one. Soiree's good, and Benteke is the man again. We talked about him at the start of the last episode. 1 goal in 12 games. He's now got 2 in 2. So if we can keep that run going, I seem to have found a system that works for him. I was playing him quite often as a lone striker, pumping the ball up to him. He's a bit more, and he's injured. As we're talking about him, he's a bit more agile than that generally. He's not at the moment, obviously, because he's about to go off. But now I can bring Kareem on, and he's perfectly summed up for that role. I was toying with him or Zaha, just so I'm a bit mobile, but I'll keep Zaha for Rossi's position perhaps, and maybe switch them around. Yeah, Benteke, if he's not too seriously injured in this one, he could be a key player for us sort of going into the new year if I'm still here. He's got 2 in 2. He's playing a bit more mobility, a bit more role, a bit more demand of him. He's got a partner next to him who can do a bit of his work, bit of his running. Someone to get onto those through ball, then knock-ons and stuff like that when they are coming in. Yeah, so it's a shame he's injured now because he was just starting to get into a bit of form. He did have a bit of an injury at the end of the last game as well, I think, but it was only for like 1 day and he was back straight away. So same as Soiree, same as Soiree, and who was the other one? Oh, I forget now. There was someone else who picked up a knock, but yeah. So we've taken the lead early on, and not a lot has happened since. We've only had 3 shots, but again with two on target now, whereas before that would have been 3 shots, none on target, or no shots at all. It's the fact that we're getting possession as well, which like we did against Liverpool, which again isn't what we're going for, but it seems to be working. So we've got I forgot to mention as well, we've got a new assistant manager. I've been on the lookout for one for a while, but the best person there was Koeman's brother, Ronald Koeman's brother, and he isn't very good. So I didn't go for him. He put it this way: Lewington, who was the assistant manager previously, was better than him. But where Watford's manager got sacked, I forget his name off the top of my head now. The guy was at Hull last year, who Everton wanted until recently. His assistant manager obviously left at the same time, and he looks pretty decent. So he's come in. I had to pay quite a hefty fee for Lewington, as Shaqiri equalises for Stoke. Yeah, so I had to pay quite a lot. It's a shame because I just noticed we were up to 14th at that point, but I think that's going to now drop down to about 16th again. Yeah, he looks a cut above Lewington, so I might at some point. Literally, it was between the last game and this game that I've hired him, so I'm not giving him any team talks or anything like that. I'll let him get acquainted with the team and that sort of stuff. Stoke have got Nagatomo from Inter as well. I assume he's from Inter. He was previously, and Stoke have taken the lead through Sobby. To be fair, they do deserve it, and that drops us down to 17th now, according to the note at the top, but the table still says 16th. From the looks of it, Bournemouth are winning. This is what I mean. Whenever there's results going our way, or even to a degree not, the other teams are picking up points as well. So, and here we are again. We've got Kareem. Can he create something? Back to Tompkins, out to Ward. Fosu Mensah in the middle. Soiree out wide. We switch it around nicely. We've got some nice passing movements going. Some nice little triangles. Fosu Mensah through to Goodbye. Can he put Kareem through? Is that a penalty? And we've got a penalty. With Benteke off, I'm not sure who's on penalties. I want to say maybe Goodbye. Rossi. So can he get back to the goals? He didn't score last time out, I don't seem to recall. So another one here would be most welcome, and he slots it away. 2-2 at the Brittania. See, I think 4 points out of 6 in the first 2 games after our board meeting. In my mind, that should be enough. Obviously not completely, but for the time being, you know, if you'd have offered me 4 points, obviously I haven't got the 4 points yet, they could still come back and Tremolinas forward. And looks like Suarez put that in his own net. That's disappointing. That's literally straight after the penalty. They've pretty much almost gone off. A bit like FIFA, kick-off goals for the win. I mean, it's hard to say that we don't deserve. They don't deserve to win stat-wise, but a walkabout out to Rossi. And we just can't pop it over the line. No, we're going to try and make one last-ditch change. We're going to get Zaha. Rossi's not had a great game, so we're going to get Zaha on. Can't really play the role, but can he play there better? Perhaps. Had Rossi switched? I didn't switch that. That's bizarre. So who else can we? Who's not having a great game? Who's struggling for fitness a little bit? This is, as you can see, it's quite an intense formation. So we do get players getting tired quite quickly. But you know, while we're not in the Champions League, we're not in Europe, we're not really on a big cup run. We've still got the FA Cup, but while we're not playing too many games, 1 game a week typically, apart from obviously this Christmas schedule that we've had recently, it's not too much of a concern. I'm wondering if we were to change it up a little bit, whether that would be a good idea. So if we slot Ensa back there, Suarez, Sacco, Tompkins, Ward, that's leaving us, so we can slot Sousa on there. I haven't actually used this diamond yet, but it doesn't have the wingers, so the setup could still be workable. It's very narrow. Let's see if it. I'm just kind of training it in the background really to see, you know, when we might need to come up against a team who, you know, a bit vulnerable to 4-4-2, or you know, it's a variant of 4-4-2. So obviously without the width, but someone who might be a bit susceptible to something like that. But I thought, you know, why not? And no, we lose 3-2. So disappointing after the run. 3 points out of 6. It's a tough one. How do you go beating Liverpool to then losing to Stoke? Obviously a wet day in Stoke, but it's one of those days. They seem to be happy with the comments. So let's see where that leaves us in the Premier League. So down 17th, out of relegation, but what's happened in the teams around us? Bournemouth beat Watford, so you know, it keeps us away from Watford, but it pulls Bournemouth away from us a little bit. Burnley lost to Tottenham, so one of the few times I'm quite happy Tottenham have won. I'm an Arsenal fan, by the way, for me sins. Man City have beaten Huddersfield 5-1, so again keeps Huddersfield away from us. West Ham, wow. Newcastle, West Brom. So West Brom have pulled away a little bit, which is a shame because Newcastle are doing well. Could have done with a favour there. Brighton beat Swansea, so that's a favour. Arsenal Everton tonight could do with an big Arsenal favour. So let's see. Benteke's out 4 to 6 weeks. I'm gonna have to leave him to the physio. I can't risk him. We need him for this month, but 1 game really doesn't. I'm gonna send the assistant for that. He speaks Portuguese. I'm not sure what. João Pedro Sousa. That's the man. Does he speak English? Have I just sent him to a press conference where he can't speak English? Languages. Fluent in English. That's a shame. I was hoping I could just send him there and confuse them. But so yeah, that's us done for today. I think time wise that'll do. We'll come back for next time for Huddersfield and Burnley. I think that's quite 2 good games to come back for. Huddersfield is a game, 3 games in the row for the cameras. I think that's a game we should be looking at, perhaps trying to get, certainly Huddersfield. How are Burnley doing? They're doing quite well, so a bit trickier away as well. And we might come back to Huddersfield, Bournemouth, with Burnley sandwiched in the middle. I'll see how we're going and how time goes and how my day's going. But yeah, so I'll see you next time.